Great day, great day. Once again, it's a great day. Understanding what we know, understanding the feelings of being that they show, we must know. Great day. All right, great day, great day, great day. Once again, this is the Melanin Man coming to you as a voice of consciousness. The Melanin Man is a voice of consciousness. Today is the 10th day of March. The 10th day of April. Must have flown by so fast. And that's the other thing we kind of going to touch on, and that is time. It actually has no bounds, no limits, and it is moving, as we like to say. But anyway, what we're here to talk about today is that the divinity is the master. Let me repeat that. Divinity is the master. I'll say it again. Divinity is the master, and you are divine. You get that? So let's be clear. This is, or has been, an exercise for your divine self to take a rest, sleep, what have you, and now you are awakening. Divinity is the master. Why? Because it is infinite. It is eternal. We're talking energy, frequency, and vibration, not a physical being. Not anything physical. Consciousness is not a physical thing. Consciousness is ethereal. Ethereality is not a physical thing. So that which has governed, managed, and coerced on the physical plane no longer is in the forefront. That which has been hidden, except for those who've been searching, that which has been hidden is not a physical thing. Remember, they talked about in those so-called doctrines and books that the war will be a war of principalities. What is principle? What is a principle? What is a principality other than a tenet or a sacred promise or some type of divine intervention of those things that are sacred, not holy? This is not religion. We're not talking about anything religious. Religion was created to separate. Doctrines were created to manipulate the masses for political reasons, financial reasons, you name it. Had an underlying aspect to it, whereby someone or someones or groups of ones wanted control of. We've been calling and have been conditioned to believe, and that's gone as well, we must know. We've been conditioned to believe in something, someone, anything, anyone other than yourself. This is part of the process that is dead. You are the ones holding, propping, keeping it up by your complicitance and or support in your participation with your focused energy. You're keeping it alive. So the more we use our disciplines to divest ourselves from the systems of things that were, that are no more. Because again, we're talking about that which you don't see. We're not talking about physical. You look at somebody and you try to make a decision and determination and judgment and all those things you've been trained in, and some of you are very skillful at it. They are no longer the tools in the toolbox. You got to get rid of them. The tools have been upgraded. You got to update. Your tools are nothing, has nothing to do with anything to do with that which you've been given. That which you've been given by someone else, a physical person, being, thing, group, whatever. That, you know, your doctrines, your diplomas, your titles, all of the stuff that has been bestowed on you by someone or something no longer has power. You can try to wield it if you like. You can continue to bask in that memory, and that's what it is now. It's a faded or fading memory. Why? Because we are in a new paradigm that calls for a different set of principles. The principles are not physical. Let me say that again. The principal tools of usage in this time that we're in now are not physical. Your consciousness, combined with the energetic resonance that you generate from your actions, your thoughts, your words, your comings, goings, and doings, is now the master. Now guess what? The master within the master has to be that which is the master of the action, of the thought, of the doings, the comings and the goings. So integrity, which is baked into divinity, respect, which is baked into divinity, honor, which is baked into divinity. All the other stuff is baked into it as well. Bottom line is, you get to choose as the soul that you are, seated outside of time, outside of space, outside of anything other than you, the streaming consciousness from the place where you reside. And that's where you're going back to. See, many would like to suggest that they are the only ones, or they have the power to help you, get you, let me guide you. And that's possible. And no knock on anything anyone else is doing. However, the cycle is such that you will return from whence you came. Period. Whether it be by you consciously doing it or unconsciously doing it. Divinity, being the master, is going to get it done. Now you can go being drugged, screaming, hollering, whooping, and which will prolong the process for you. Or you can come willingly, joyfully, intentionally with your combined focus on the awareness of the self that is. The war is not really a war. It's more of a process of discernment. And see, when we give words to things, we don't realize the depths of what they mean in addition to what they can do. See, you never thought about words being alive. We never thought about our thoughts having active energy. We didn't come up thinking about what we're doing is sending a wave of energy that generates a magnetic response. We've not come up with thinking like that. We come up with, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. But basically, you are using only your physical eyes to discern or determine based on the definitions you've been given around the idea of what a duck is. What if you see it as energy? All that is energy. Energy, frequency, and vibration. What if you start looking with a different eye? Because there's only one true eye. The others are second and third. Your first eye is the original eye. And that is what sees through, beyond, around. It transcends any and everything. So if you're doing the things only focusing on what you can define and how you can define it and put it in this box and it only does this, it's never been the case. That's what we've been taught. But all the time, that which we've been given has had a reverberating frequency to it. That's why this concerns, that's why we're being continuously bombarded with a lot of confusion and a lot of they call chaos. Is really not. Because when you develop your discernment, when you are able to read the tea leaves, as they say, when you know, not hope, believe, having faith, and I got faith. What is that? I believe in what? Well, they said, who is they? If you're not being directed from within, your GPS is going to lead you astray. If the GPS isn't from within, any other external aspect of finding, looking, searching for that which is your salvation will not come. Anything outside of you is not going to take you home. Remember the Wizard of Oz. Click your heels, and what? Dorothy always had the power to go home. Always had the power. She was on an adventure to understand, understand, and overstand more of her ability to master self. Self is the master, and it's connected to divinity. Divinity is the master, and you are divine. Period. That's the secret that's been only a secret to you. Everybody else know. Everybody else know exactly what is or isn't about you. So you'll be given distracted ideas, thoughts, and anything and everything. But just please don't go. We need you. The minute you embrace the totality of the all that you already are, butt naked, the sooner the illusion fades. See, clarity is a beautiful thing. To be clear on who you are, what you are, and why you are here. You're here to enjoy. It's all is divine. You get the chance to interact with your ideas, thoughts, feelings, expressions, because you're magnetizing and bringing all of that stuff to you, or you're being drawn to it. And the system that we're in now, that is the governing principle processes that does not, will not, cannot fail. It is a fail-safe system that you are connected to, whether you know it or not, whether you want to accept it or not. So I'm not asking you to believe me. Go within. Challenge yourself to not to be afraid of the dark, and sit alone for a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Practice your breathing, and then pay attention to if it's shallow, if it's deep, is it light? Because your ability to comfortably breathe either draws in or excretes your power. Yeah, breathing. Yeah. The stuff you don't think much of. Why? Because subconsciously you don't have to. The subconscious aspects of what happens with you, you're not in tune with. And that's the time that we're in now. We're in the time where you become more in tune with those things that you cannot see, that you are a part of, that you are manipulating and managing, whether it be consciously or unconsciously. So what do? You embrace it. It's all you. Up, down, right, wrong, in, out, bad, good. It's all you. Now, what are you going to do about it? You going to continue to allow it to do you? Or are you going to do it? The system of things that we've been given. Are you going to do it? Participate in it? Or are you going to embrace the fullness of that which you already are, right here in the midst of it, and manage, control, and master? See, you don't master the system by getting educated, by getting someone to pat you on the back and say good job. You master everything external by how you function and reside internal. This has always been the case. We've just not had the opportunity, or never was in the system. Well, I won't say never. We've not been in the cycle in this time before that will allow us to replenish our energies and be supported. See, that's the other thing. We're afraid to rock the boat. In essence, there is no boat. You are if there is a boat, you are the boat. So if you rock it, you can steady it. If the waves are crashing, you can be calm till it settles around you. You are the essence of the all that is presently in you, as you are, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, however you want to be. Now, we're in a cycle that is geared towards harmonizing and balancing towards oneness. So anything outside of that, or anything that's not moving in harmony or synchronicity with the time that we're in is going to be removed. Period, point blank, and it cannot exist. That's why we have to do whatever it is regarding our own housekeeping personally. Now you can not do it. It's going to get done. Remember, divinity is the master and you are divine. Now if you choose not to this time, then so be it. Don't. It's okay. It's not a bad thing you don't want to acquiesce to the fullness of your own resonant frequency in harmony and in balance with that. It's nothing wrong with you not wanting to be in tune with yourself. That's what you know. My compassion allows me to understand, and overstand that everybody's not going to go at the same time. Everybody doesn't want the same thing at the same time. Everybody, and it's not about everybody. Guess what? It's only about you, me. We as one with the source that we already are. That's what this is about. And see, there's a lot that that's attempting to keep you distracted so that you don't get it. So this is what it's all about. Now, it don't have to be all about it if that's not your choice. Because again, divinity is the master. And what? You are divine. So you make the choice. You have the options before you. Always had options. Now, does it mean that you're going to get to exercise your options? Of course. However, if your options are out of line, out of touch, or not in sync with where we are, what you are, and what's going on right now, in this time, in this paradigm, all that stuff that used to be is no more. You don't need to work by the sweat of your brow. All you need to do is think and know. That's all. And bring back your memory so that you can focus more, give your attention to, and be disciplined around what you know. That's it. Everything else is going to be taken care of. You moving down the street when the wind blows, and if it blows strong enough, you can't go against it. I mean, you can try, but depending on how strong the wind blows, you're going with the wind, baby. Or if you're in the ocean, and a big wave come, you can try to stand if you have footing. If you don't, you're just going to be pulled or pushed or taken to wherever. I got caught in an undercurrent before in the ocean, and instead of panicking, I just moved with it, but eased my way across it so I got out of its grip, because it was taking me. So this is the same thing. There's an energetic presence and a resonance that is moving through our time right now. And you have the ability to master your environment in such a way that you would never, ever, ever understand if you're trying to understand it with an intellectual intelligence type of mindset. This is not intellect. Intellect is not the source of what's going to get you through this. The principalities is the unseen realm that operates underneath the cause. The effects, rather. The cause is underneath the effects. That which is cause is first, but you see the effects, but you don't see the cause. When you're drilling down to resolve a solution, get a solution to a problem, you don't start at the surface where the problem is. You have to go beneath the surface to get to the root of what the problem is. Medicines only treat, supposedly, the medicines that we're given are only treating solutions, are topical treatments for the problem itself, not the cause. Our psychosis, and everybody has some level of psychosis, because we've been in a psychopathic place for so long, is no way you can be affected and psyched to some extent with so much trauma and drama, which excites the nerves and it generates the magnetism of the emotions that causes us to react. What if you don't react? What if you have the ability to observe, realize and know, and not react because you know what it is or isn't, or why it is or isn't, and what deep-lying, deep-reaching effects that it has on you personally, to where you now have no interest in being manipulated, pulled and tugged and taken here and there to and fro. And you stand. Divinity is the master, and you are divine. We have to know this. And the only way you know it is that you stand in the reality of that which you can embrace that. And you embrace the memory, but now you activate that which is or has been a memory. That's what is going on. Divinity is the master, and the master has been asleep. And now he or she is waking up. We're being supported in our arousals or awakenment, if there is such a word, in our awakening. We're being supported. The system of things are no longer the way they've been. They've changed literally before our very eyes. And we don't see it because we're trying to define physicality based on what we've been taught, told, conditionally programmed to think about what we're seeing. However, there's a new set of tools in your toolbox. You just have to look and take the time to assess and reassess how you apply it. What is the far-reaching mechanisms by which is derived once applied? Because what you've been given it won't work now. It's not going to work. It doesn't work. You can see that. It's all going up in smoke or poof. Now you see it, now you don't. Is here, was here today, and then this new tomorrow is gone. It was here yesterday, not no more. So this is about reacquainting yourself with the divine promise, the covenant. There is a divine providence. There was a divine promise and providence that's been a covenant that is now being, what is it? Talking about paying it forward. No. You are experiencing that which is now. Paying it forward, it's been paid forward. All the ancestors and the gazillion documents and the forever stories that have been told, and dialogue and monologue and theories and conjectures and mythologies. What do you think all that stuff was for? Jog your memory, because it's you. All the stuff that came before you is stuff to herald and hold you up, to remind you of who you are. So the mythologies and the fables and the tales and the stories that have been told were, in essence, spoke to the principles that are needed to acquiesce, or no, to embrace yourself. Because you already got it. You already are it. All that you think is outside of you, you have every aspect of that inside of you. Everything. And so if you don't know that you have the power, that you are the alchemist, that you're a scientist, that you are a horticulturalist, if you don't know that you are everything. The old song back in the day, stylistics, you are everything and everything is you. However, you, as the divine spark of the all that you already are, must know balance. So, divinity is the master, and you are divine. So, master, what do I do? What is it you want to do? Where is the compassion which uses your heart? See, before we, let me check the time though, make sure. We've been going a little bit already. So before we go, let me just say this. Before we've gotten to this place, we were operating from below the heart chakra. Everything is below the heart chakra. Well, now we're in a time of balance. We're in a time of that which is the all that will always be. So that calls for all of you to be engaged. All of you are aspects of you to be engaged. And so that requires balance. You can't have it to be too far on the left or too far on the right. It must be centered. It's not hard. Everything that you've been conditionally programmed to believe and think, think. You must now divest yourself from that, little by little. And guess what? The intention of your heart will quickening the efforts. But you have to take the steps. You have to move in that direction with your consciousness. You have to want this. You have to want to know. You have to want to know, have a desire to know. And then move like you sincerely, genuinely, honestly want to know, and it'll be revealed to you. But as long as you're being deceptive and not being sincere and inauthentic, you're not going to get it. And when you do get it, in that frame of mind, you'll reject it. And what are you rejecting? You. This is what your training has been. This is what the conditional programming has been. To reject yourself. All that you already are, you've been conditionally programmed and trained like an elephant, a dancing bear, whatever, to reject yourself. That's the training. Otherwise, you would not be participating and acquiescing so easily, because you would know better. When you know better, you do better. Well, here's the time. All right, this has been a voice of consciousness, or shall I say, the Melanin Man, aka a voice of consciousness. Once again, the Melanin Man, aka a voice of consciousness. Please subscribe. I'm not asking for any money. I don't want your money. But to support what I'm doing, if you think anything of it, that'd be greatly appreciated. All right? Okay. One love. Remember, that which is the all there is. And you are that which is now. Peace.